Today I'm going to show you how to install MySQL on Windows. So we need to go to the community downloads for MySQL to get the free open source version of it. And it's a little confusing now because they've changed the way they're doing versioning, and they have a few versions available. They still have 8.0 available, but you probably want to go with, currently you probably want to go with 8.4.2 LTS, which is the long-term support. And that will be supported, I think, until 2029. The support for this 8.0 runs out in 7 months, and you can get extended support for it for another year, I think. And 9 is the innovation. The innovation can change a lot, so you don't want to use that for a production server because they may actually change the database format on it and change other things that might really affect it. So 8.4 currently, or you really want the LTS version, long-term support version. So I'm going to download the MSI installer here, and you're going to need to log in at this. Once you log in, it will have download now, and then we're simply going to open and run the file. And so it comes up with the install wizard, and we'll hit next here. You want to accept the terms to the license, and you can install typical, custom, which allows you to pick what you're going to install, or complete. I'm going to install complete. Complete will also install the examples. You probably want to install the examples if you're using it for the first time, so you'll have some databases to mess around with. I intend to do a few more videos on MySQL, and so I'll probably be using those databases in that. So if we go to custom real quick though, you'll see that it says development components, client programs, and server, and you can select between those, but we're going to go back and we're just go complete, make sure we install everything. So then we're going to install it. Then we installed it, and now we're going to hit finish, and it will run the MySQL configurator, which is how we kind of set up the password and a couple other things. So here's the configurator. It says welcome. So we're going to just hit next here. This is the data directory where the program data is being held for MySQL. I think I'm going to just leave it right here on C. You could change it to D or whatever other drive you wanted to. I'm just going to use the default. Now here is the networking. I would just go with the defaults. The port is 3306 by default. If you need to change that for any reason, that is where you would change it. For example, if you were already using 3306 for something. All right, so we're going to set up a password here. And we'll tell you the strength of it. It's medium here. I'm just using this for demonstrations, and it's not out on the internet, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm going to also add a user here while I'm at it, a database admin, and I'm going to just make the login Dino in this case. Make sure the password's something that you can remember. And then we're going to go next, and this is the service name by default. You can change that to whatever you want. There's really no reason to change any of this here. And I'm going to just go yes on that. And here's, it asks you if you want to create the sample databases. I'm going to put yes on both of these so that we can use them in examples later. So you may want to do that too if you want to follow along in future videos where I use these, or you may want to just do this just so you have some databases that you know you can mess around with. All right, so here is where we apply configuration. So we're going to go execute, and it will run through the configuration that we told it to run through. It's completed, so we'll go to next, and you can copy the configuration to your clipboard and to Notepad if you want to recall it. I'm not going to bother to do that, and then we just finish and it's done. All right, so now we want to make sure that it's actually working, and in order to do that, there used to be or there still is a application called MySQL Workbench, and they're not going to upgrade it for 8.0, so it only works with 8.0 and before. So I'm going to show you how to test it real quick on the command line SQL, and there's another program called, if you want a graphical interface, called HeidiSQL, which works with there's another database called HeidiSQL, which works with MySQL, and it works with MariaDB, which is kind of an alternate fork of MySQL, and it works with some other SQL servers. And it's a very simple, lightweight graphical interface, and I'll do another video on this as well. But just to let you know, if you want to use that, Workbench isn't stable with 8.4 from what I understand. So, and they're not going to, like I said, upgrade it. So if we go back, if we go down to here and we go to, it says recently added, you might have to search for this, but it's MySQL 8.4 command line client. We're going to click on that and it'll bring it up and it will ask us for the password. So we're going to put in the root password right here and hit enter. If we did it right, it brings us up a command prompt. So then the next thing that we want to do is we're going to go, we're going to use the command show databases. And when you have to, after you put that, you have to put a semicolon and then it runs it. And it lists the databases for us. So what I should have done was write the command. You always have to put the semicolon after the command on the command prompt, but if you forget, you can put it on the next line. And so there it is, and it's just already listing what databases we have on this, so we know that we've installed it. World and Sakila are the two sample databases. They're on there as well, and we can run SQL commands from this line now as well. So that's how you install MySQL on Windows.